I never imagined a corporate merger would unravel the careful stitching that held my life together. For 7 years, I'd successfully compartmentalized the pain of my husband's affair, tucked it away in a mental filing cabinet labeled Past Hurts, and moved forward with our marriage. Then came the announcement that Sterling Technologies was merging with Infinite Solutions, and suddenly that filing cabinet burst open, spilling its contents across my professional and personal life. The merger announcement came on a Tuesday morning. Our CEO gathered everyone in the main conference room, speaking enthusiastically about synergy and market expansion. I sat there in my role as Senior Marketing Director, taking notes and thinking about campaign integration, when he introduced the incoming executive team from Infinite Solutions. That's when I saw her, Victoria Chen, their Chief Marketing Officer, soon to be my direct supervisor. My husband's former mistress was about to become my boss. The memories I'd suppressed came flooding back. 3 years into my marriage with Richard, I'd discovered his 6-month affair with Victoria, then a marketing consultant working with his firm. The discovery nearly ended our marriage, but we'd worked through it with counseling, renewed commitment, and Victoria's eventual departure to another state. Now here she stood, poised and professional, showing no sign of recognition as her eyes swept across the room. The next few weeks were a masterclass in maintaining composure. Victoria scheduled one-on-one meetings with each team member, saving me for last. When we finally met, she addressed the elephant in the room with corporate precision. "I believe we can maintain a professional relationship despite our history," she said, her voice steady. "The past is the past, and I'm here to lead this department. Nothing more." I nodded, gripping my tablet so hard my knuckles turned white. Word spread through the office despite our best efforts at discretion. Workplace gossip travels faster than corporate memos, and soon my team members were shooting concerned glances my way during meetings. Some became overly protective, while others grew distant, unsure how to navigate the complicated dynamics. The merger's success depended partly on our department's integration, and everyone could feel the tension threatening to derail it. Richard was devastated when I told him about Victoria's new position. "I'll help you find another job," he offered immediately. But with 18 years at Sterling, a team I'd built from scratch, and a project portfolio I was proud of, leaving felt like letting the past win twice. Besides, at 45, starting over seemed daunting. I decided to stay and face the challenge, though every morning felt like walking into an emotional minefield. Victoria proved to be an excellent CMO, which somehow made everything worse. She was innovative, strategic, and fair in her leadership. In another reality, I could have learned so much from her. Instead, every productive meeting, every successful campaign launch came with the bitter aftertaste of our shared history. I found myself working twice as hard to prove my value, staying late to perfect presentations, and triple-checking reports before submission. The situation grew more complex when our teams merged for a major product launch. Victoria and I were forced to work closely together, spending long hours in strategy sessions. During one late-night meeting, after everyone else had left, she suddenly said, "I was young and selfish back then. I never considered the full impact of my actions." The acknowledgement hung in the air between us, neither an apology nor a dismissal, just a truth we both had to carry. My marriage felt the strain of Victoria's daily presence in my life. Richard became overly attentive, as if trying to compensate for the past. Every time I mentioned work, his face would tighten with guilt and concern. Our evening conversations began to feel like walking through a field of landmines, carefully avoiding topics that might lead back to the merger, the office, or Victoria. The past we thought we'd dealt with was suddenly present tense again. The crisis point came during an executive presentation. Victoria and I were presenting our integrated marketing strategy to the board when a senior executive made a comment about our unusual dynamic, creating innovative tension. The room grew uncomfortable as the implication hung in the air. Victoria surprised me by addressing it directly. "Our history has taught us both valuable lessons about professionalism and resilience. These qualities strengthen our leadership." Her words, though diplomatic, acknowledged our reality while refusing to let it define our current roles. That moment marked a turning point. We'd never be friends, but we found a way to be colleagues. The office gossip gradually died down as people realized we could work together effectively. My team's loyalty, initially born from sympathy, evolved into genuine respect for how I handled the situation. Some even confided that watching me navigate this challenge had taught them about grace under pressure. The personal toll, however, required more careful handling. Richard and I returned to counseling, this time to deal with the reopened wounds of his infidelity. Our therapist helped us understand that this situation was an opportunity to truly heal what we'd merely bandaged before. The daily reminder of his affair forced us to confront lingering trust issues and unspoken resentments. Working with Victoria revealed uncomfortable truths about myself as well. I realized I'd never fully processed my anger about the affair, instead channeling it into professional ambition. Now, that anger had nowhere to hide. Through individual therapy, I learned to separate my personal history from my professional present, to acknowledge my feelings without letting them drive my decisions. The merger's one-year anniversary brought unexpected developments. Victoria announced her promotion to global CMO, relocating to the London office. During her farewell meeting with me, she said something that stuck. "We've both grown since that time. You've shown me what real strength looks like." I surprised myself by feeling a complex mix of relief and respect. Relief that our daily interaction would end. Respect for how we'd both handled an impossible situation. My team threw a celebration when we exceeded our post-merger integration goals. Looking around at their proud faces, I realized that my decision to stay had been right. We'd not only survived the merger but had created something stronger. My experience had made me a better leader, more attuned to the personal challenges team members might be facing, more understanding of how personal and professional lives intersect. Richard and I emerged stronger as well, though not in ways I expected. Watching me face Victoria daily helped him understand the long-term impact of his choices. Our conversations became more honest, addressing fears and insecurities we'd previously avoided. We learned that real trust isn't about forgetting the past, but about choosing to build a future together despite it. 3 years have passed since that merger announcement. Victoria's occasional video appearances in global meetings no longer trigger anxiety. Richard and I have found a new normal, one built on hard-won trust and deeper understanding. My team has grown, and I've mentored several members through their own personal challenges, drawing from my experience without sharing its details. The corporate world often demands that we separate personal and professional lives, but sometimes they collide in ways that force us to grow. The merger taught me that professionalism isn't about denying our personal reality, but about choosing how we let it shape our actions. Every morning I walk into my office knowing that I've faced one of the most challenging situations in my career, and emerged not just successful, but stronger. Looking back, I realized that the merger did more than reveal old wounds. It forced me to finally heal them. In the corporate landscape of mergers and acquisitions, balance sheets and market shares, it's easy to forget that organizations are made of people, each carrying their own stories. Sometimes those stories collide in painful ways, but they also create opportunities for growth, redemption, and unexpected strength. Today, when I mentor young professionals, I tell them that career challenges often come packaged in personal wrapping. The measure of our success isn't just in meeting business objectives, but in how we maintain our dignity and professionalism through personal trials. The merger that I thought would break me instead revealed everything about my resilience, my capacity for growth, and my ability to transform past pain into present strength.